Full Service Radio.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It's Melissa, and you're tuning into the Edible Activist Podcast. This show highlights Black and brown edible activists in the food and farming space. And not that kind of edible you're probably thinking about, but we're talking about food activism and stories that are bringing us back to the land. As the creator of Food Talks DC, I travel the DC area and beyond to document personal food journeys and perspectives from everyday people. We cover topics such as health, culture, environment, food justice, and so much more. Every week, I will bring in a special guest to hear their personal food journey firsthand. We don't promote people, we tell stories and empower communities. So we have some special guests on today's show, and I'm excited because we're gonna have fun today, right? Right, y'all?
Yeah.
Right. So today on the show, I have Milan Jordan, who is the founder and creator of the Cultured Kombucha.
What up? It's Jordan-Durham now, too. Actually.
Oh, Jordan. Okay, Jordan.
Durham.
Oh, it's the hyphenated last name. Go, girl. Okay. You just got married?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I should have seen that bling to my right. All right. And then we have Rabia. Is it Kamara?
It is Kehmari.
Yes, because I can jack up a name. She is the founder and the master creator of Ruby Scoops, okay? The renowned Ruby Scoops, okay?
So
not just Ruby Scoops.
Yeah.
The Ruby Scoops, y'all. And then we have Kehmari. Kehmari, remind me of your last name. I am drawing a blank.
It's okay. It's Kehmari Norman.
Kehmari Norman. I knew that. Kehmari Norman of Ksquared Flowers. Three beautiful, dynamic women entrepreneurs. Black women entrepreneurs, guys. And so I'm just really excited. The other special thing about the three of them is that they are each part of what is called they are known as the Spice Girls, which is a collective spearheaded by Angel. Shout out to Angel, who is the founder and creator and chief of everything over at the Spice Suite in Washington, D.C. And we're going to learn a little bit more about that and their involvement with the Spice Suite and the things that they do over there. But you guys know how this show goes. So we get to learn a little bit about our guests. You know, they kind of walk us through this journey. We learn about where their roots, where they're from, you know, how food, farming, or anything has played a role in their life. And then they bring us along, ask a few more questions, and we have fun. We have great conversations. So who am I going to start off with? I'll start off with Milan. First of all, let me just say, Milan, I just met Milan a couple months ago, and she is like my number one fan. Like she's awesome. She's such an awesome cheerleader. And so I just appreciate your support of not barely even knowing me, but supporting the Food Talks DC platform, supporting this whole edible activist movement, something that's ever evolving. And I'm making changes daily because I don't know what the hell I'm doing every other second of the day. So I just appreciate you. And I just feel like the love in this room already. And I have a deep respect for what each of you all do, because I've either bought your product, we've either collaborated, we've done an event together, and so, you know, this isn't me just yanking people off the street. Like, I kind of know y'all.
Right.
And I'm going to get to learn you a little bit more.
We appreciate you, too.
Thank you. So, Milan. Who is Milan? Who is Milan? Where are you rooted? You know, how has food played a role in your life? Like, tell us a little bit. A little bit about us.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm from Maryland, so I'm from the area. I spent some time in Atlanta and just moved back up to the area 3 years ago. I guess my story around Cultured Kombucha was trying kombucha for the first time out in Portland, coming back to the DC area and not seeing it as frequently. This was a few years ago now, at least like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Not seeing it in the prevalence that I saw it out in the Pacific Northwest. And then I started brewing it and realizing that almost no black people I knew what it was, had heard of it, didn't know how to pronounce it. Maybe even probiotics, didn't even know what probiotics were. So like most people who try something at home, usually they're spending all their money on it, and so they want to try their hand at it. So that's what I was doing, and I was home brewing, and when I would talk to people about it, I realized that it was a very specific cohort of people who hadn't heard of kombucha or weren't really partaking in probiotics. That was when Cultured's mission shifted a little bit. I always was thinking about just brewing it and selling it at farmers markets, but then when I realized there was a larger market gap, I thought I'd try to tackle that a little bit. So my background is not in anything to do with food. My background's in architecture. I just really loved probiotics and saw a lot of great benefits from them for myself and wanted other people to know about them too.
So when you say cohort, you talking about black people?
Yeah, black people.
You can say black people.
Black people.
And
I can't even say black and brown people because, it's Indian culture, Asian culture, everybody but black people.
Yeah, black people.
Pretty much.
When I would go to Mississippi, I'd be like, oh, I finished eating some fried fish. And I'd be like, oh, I need my kombucha. And like my aunt and everybody's like, what is that? I'm like, I need some good probiotics for my stomach. I need to, my gut needs to be healthy.
My own parents can't. The kombucha, they can't.
Kombucha.
I have to trick most people into trying it, but I'll do that. It's okay.
That's all good. Rabia.
Hello.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hiya.
Every time I see Rabia, she's just like, she's Rabia.
That's exactly it.
Full of life.
That's it, y'all. That's the description. No.
Who's Rabia?
I, too, am from Maryland. I grew up in Mo County.
Shout out Moco.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I am a first-generation African-American. I am the youngest of the first generation of African-Americans in my family, so
Wow.
lots of expectations, if you will. I started baking when I was in grade school, and I fell in love with food very quickly. It's a big part of my family, and I think we have a very large family. Even in my family, there's 7 of us, so
Yeah.
7 times a whole bunch. There's
Yeah.
So
I get
food
it.
brings us all together, and I've just always loved the way that sugar and butter smell and come together, and how excited everybody gets when there's sweets. So after I went to college, I decided to pursue my passion and go to culinary school. So I'm mostly self-taught with pastry, but I do have a little bit of a background, and I think my thing came more from being in the DC food and restaurant scene and not seeing a lot of focus on the dessert, and going places and not enjoying the desserts, and feeling like there weren't a lot of high quality things here, and then also realizing a lot of people in my community have never actually had frozen desserts that have like quality ingredients in them. We're usually used to basically eating spoonfuls of air that are perfumed and don't actually have like real flavors in them. So I wanted to kind of bring that to this area and have everybody reconnect with those exciting feelings that surround dessert from when you were a child, and have that forever.
I love it.
Thank
Rabia
you.
is a true reflection of her brand, and I can attest to her product. I can attest to Milan's product, and I can attest to Rabia's product. I've had it before. I've had her sorbets, blueberry. Oh, Lord, good God. Scoop me up. Give me a scoop, Ruby. Give me a scoop. So good. And we've collaborated at an event before, which was perfect, on a rooftop. It's hot as hell, you know. Need some dessert, need something soothing. So that's what's up. What high school did you go to? Just sidebar.
I went to Paint Branch High School.
You did? I went to
sure
Einstein.
did.
I went to Einstein.
Oh, check you out.
Titans in the house.
Yes. Panthers. We actually just passed my high school, and it's like a massive junior community college, and I was like, I can't. It's big.
Good grief.
It's
You
intimidating.
know, we were actually one of the first schools in Montgomery County to get renovated.
Yeah, I do know that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, they rebuilt Paint Branch, I want to say like 2008, and before that, they hadn't done it since 1988.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what we're talking about, Montgomery County is a suburb right outside of D.C., okay? Because they got folks from all over, you know? So just FYI, gotta rep.
Silver Spring and things.
Yes, absolutely. Kehmari.
Yes.
Looking adorable as
Thank you.
usual.
Thank you so much.
Tell us who you are, where you're rooted at.
Yes, so I'm Kehmari. I'm a PG girl, Prince George's County,
All right.
with DC roots.
Yay.
So I was born in DC and really raised in DC and Northeast as well. But I've always lived in PG County with my mom and my uncles. And yeah, my family is like 4 generations of Washingtonians. And my grandfather brought us up here from Greensboro, North Carolina. Yeah, and I started Ksquared earlier this year in January after about 5 years of urban gardening, mainly in Philadelphia. That's where I started as a sophomore at Temple University. Really just picking up trash and vacant lots throughout Philly. If you know Philly, then you know Philadelphia is filthy-delphia. It's litter everywhere. So just a gang of friends and college mates would go in different alleys, clean it out, and grow things. We had no idea what we were doing. But one of those vacant lots became a garden. We created a garden out of it. And I was the garden manager of that space. And from there, I was just create. It was kind of like a blank canvas. I was studying theater design at Temple University.
Ooh,
and
savvy.
Yeah, it was amazing. And so I would take everything that I learned in the studio and do things in the garden. Like we would make stages out of whatever we found and make garden beds. I remember making a garden bed in the shape of a vulva just for feminism's sakes. But yeah, we just had a lot of fun. I grew and taught myself out of trial and error and gained mentors throughout the way. A lot of Black mentors and beautiful people that are connected to the land throughout the country. And so I started Ksquared Flowers after servicing florists throughout DC at a wholesale florist, and I figured I could do this. I grow, I create, I design.
Yes, you can, and you do, and you do a wonderful job. Okay,
Thank you.
I've bought her flowers. I bought her floral products. Ooh, yay!
Shower bunch.
And we were just in. Lita and I were actually just in Philadelphia a few weeks ago. Actually, well, first of all, I'm going to shout out two of my best friends who went to Temple.
Ow.
Yeah, so I used to stay in Philly back in the day, going to Temple. But we were just in Philly, and what they're doing in the urban farming, gardening scene is like really cool up there.
Yeah, shout out to Philly Urban Creators.
Yes, Janine.
And
she's
Alex
awesome.
and Devin, they gave me my start. I'm forever grateful.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So the thing that I actually really like about, the Edible Activist podcast, just like shameless plug, is that all of these stories, in some way, in some respect, do take us back to the land. You can't really have any of these conversations and not really think about like where this all came from. I have conversations a lot with farmers and growers who are interested in building and creating products, from what they grow, or just building certain things, whether it's doing carpentry or what have you. It goes beyond the farm. It goes beyond the land. It goes beyond the flower bed. And so what everyone is doing in this space, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a doula, whether you are a coffee director, it's all coming from, stories that stem from the land. Mm-hmm. And so I always like to, be intentional about referencing that, but just being, mindful and just being grateful for the products and the things that you all are building in this space, whether it's food, wellness. So I want to ask, what sparked your entrepreneurial path? And anybody can jump in who's ready to start.
I think I just got tired of working in restaurants and putting all of my effort forth for other people and not feeling appreciated. And again, making desserts. A lot of savory chefs don't want the desserts to outshine the food. So being constantly asked to either dumb down my food or to make things that they wanted me to make instead of what I wanted to make, I was like, nah, I just want to do what I want to do.
Wow. And the thing about, the other awesome thing that I like, and that was Rabia of Ruby Scoops who was just speaking. You use a lot of, I don't know if a lot that's relative, but you're intentional and mindful about the ingredients
absolutely
that you use and how you source your products.
And that came from working in restaurants because I think America, we're a country and a nation that everything is at our fingertips. So there's so many foods that are available to us year round that in reality are not available year round. And it wasn't until I worked in restaurants and got to meet farmers and see what we really have available every season, because you shouldn't be feeding people strawberries in December.
Hello.
Things like that. I became very intentional about using seasonal produce and local dairy and local eggs, because I think we take for granted just how much we have because we don't have to depend on our specific local community. Mm-hmm. But if we did, just like how much more we would be comfortable with the seasonality of food, the amount that food costs, because you see the labor that's going into it.
Absolutely.
And I was exposed to that in restaurants, and I'm even more exposed to it now working for myself and in farmers markets, and like the relationships that I've built with other producers has been really honestly like priceless for me, because I've not bought produce in a grocery store for my products ever.
Wow. And that says a lot. And and people, and it's also an educational thing, because people don't understand the impact that has. And we also have another special guest in the building, Maisha, who's sitting over in the corner, your produce pusher. So as a grower and a farmer, Maisha understands the impact from a climate perspective, really, and it's like, don't force shit during a season when it's not supposed to be growing or doing its thing. And that's why the past few years,
even with the weather, the things that are supposed to be growing aren't growing.
Exactly.
So like we had strawberries for what, like 3 weeks this year? Because the rain was like, fuck you. You don't get strawberries this year. And people don't understand that. They're like, why can't I wait, what do you mean there's no strawberry ice cream? I'm like, it lasted for 3 weeks. That's all I got for you. Yeah. I'm not going to source strawberries from California. One, Driscoll's is terrible. Until they start paying people money, I'm not buying anything from them.
Whole nother conversation.
But even then, yes, it is. But even then, it's like, I can't provide you anything that the land can't provide us right now. And I need people to understand the impact of that. And they don't. Even like vanilla is about to be non-existent. It costs me so much money to make vanilla ice cream. So for I don't think people realize that, like vanilla and chocolate, there's so many things that are like not really accessible anymore because of the weather, but we don't realize it because we can always get it.
Wow. I can't provide anything to you that the land isn't providing to me. That's a tweet. But I ain't on Twitter, so I ain't tweeting it. So Melissa Jones here with the Edible Activist Podcast. I am chatting here with Milan of the Cultured Kombucha, with Rabia of Ruby Scoops, and Kehmari of Ksquared Flowers. So we just got to learn a little bit about each of them and their journeys. And I actually just posed a question about what sparked their entrepreneurial path. And so Rabia just shared what sparked her path. And so Kehmari?
Yeah, I think it was kind of innate. I remember being like 5 and 6, going to the flea markets with my mom. She would sell just things and clothes, and my uncle. So I was born in '93, and so my uncles and my mom had me around when she was like 18. So they came up in the 90s, and in DC, if you're a Washingtonian or if you know DC, it was like fast paced. And so my uncles, I was raised by 4 uncles, and they were hustlers. And so I remember like being like 5 and 6, and my mom had the family house, and I remember going downstairs and like it would be money stacked just as tall as me in my uncle's room.
Wow.
And then, my mom is busting her tail at work and then going to the flea market on the weekends. And I always worked for entrepreneurs. Like my first job was at Rita's Italian Ice, and a black woman named Donna Thornton, she owned it. And she was really sweet and amazing to me. And after that, I just worked. I noticed recently that I work for entrepreneurs all my life, up until DC government, my position now. So I think it was kind of innate.
Yeah.
It was always around.
It's always with you. That's awesome. And you also, I mean, I didn't mention this, but you are a master gardener. I don't know if you mentioned that. And you followed work such as Dr. Sebi and, those respected elders, in the herbal and growing space. Did that also have any influence on,
Absolutely.
Your path as well?
Yes. Dr. Sebi, I consider him like a distant mentor. I never met him, but he was the reason why I became a vegetarian.
Wow.
and became like studying more into the practice of gardening and the honor to garden. And even some of his peers like Chef Aki and his mentees like Dr. Ali Muhammad, who I would bring to DC sometime to teach. I like to. It's an honor to just be connected with these people who can bring so much inspiration and knowledge.
Absolutely. Milan, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay, me first. I guess my entrepreneurial era, it's somewhere in between Rabia and Kehmari. I was born from it. My mother always had an entrepreneurial spirit. And then I also wasn't satisfied with what I was seeing around me. I'm blessed to have a number of pretty conscious friends who like to think a lot about who they're buying from and the types of companies and the types of people, and when they can, they buy black. And I was like, there's no way to buy kombucha black right now. So I wanted to provide that for people who wanted it, who wanted to support somebody in their community who was looking to do it. And the whole marketing around beverages was very alarming to me, what's targeted at our communities. And there was nobody, Health Aid is not going to target the black community. Like, nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to tell us what's in the things that we're consuming, except for the really big companies that have the money to basically push off all their crap on us. So nobody else was going to do it if I didn't do it. So I wanted something better for the people around me. Like I said, I have to trick people into drinking a lot of times. I'm okay with that. I won't tell them what they're drinking first. I make it look pretty. I show up at events I know they're going to be at. And I feel like people need that because nobody else around was going to do it. And I wanted something local, too. So I didn't just want the black community to just have something imported from all the way across the country and, like, the insane carbon footprint of, like, the food distribution space. So I try to be pretty intentional about where I source the ingredients from, too. So it was a whole ecosystem that I wanted to exist that I didn't see existing like I wanted it to.
Well, it's existing. You exist. It exists. Are there any in this area, any other black-owned kombucha lines? Like,
no, not commercial, not commercial, not that I know of. I'm sure there's plenty of brewers.
Yeah.
Lots of people make it at home.
Yeah.
Any in DC, no.
Wow.
There's a few in DC, but none are black.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, get your kombucha from the Cultured Kombucha. Get your ice cream and your sorbet from Ruby Scoops, and get all your floral products from Ksquared Flowers, okay? All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Man, if you don't know what ghetto style means by now, I guess we just gonna have to break it down for you. Rock the beat. Rock the beat.
In my way. All in my way. I can't even see Alexia. You know I don't know what I'm doing. Goodness. So just joking. Hey guys, it's Melissa here. You're tuning in with the Edible Activist Podcast. We're broadcasting live here on Full Service Radio at the Line Hotel DC. I am chatting with some Spicin women entrepreneurs. Milan, who is the creator and founder of the Cultured Kombucha. Rabia, who is the master creator behind Ruby Scoops. And Kehmari, who is the founder and creator of Ksquared Flowers. Yay! If you're just now tuning in, we've just been having an amazing conversation. These ladies have been telling me about their entrepreneurial path, how they are intentional about sourcing their ingredients, about being intentional about creating an ecosystem that involves, sustainability for businesses, creating spaces that are inclusive of Black faces in the beverage, industry. So just a range of conversations, and we're having fun. So the other thing that I definitely want to talk about is that, and which is really special, is that each of you are what you would call spice girls, right? And like, interject if I'm not defining this right, because I'm not a spice girl and I want to make sure that I am saying some correct stuff. So anyway, there is an amazing shop in Washington, D.C. and Northwest called the Spice Suite. And the master creator behind that is Angel, right? Her name, I said that. Okay, Angel. Haven't met her, but I've been to her shop before. And it's an amazing store full of spices and just everything that you need to like cook up like a really great meal. But there's so much more behind the store and behind the brand and behind that mission. And each of these women who each hold, I know Milan and Kehmari hold respective jobs in addition to the work that they do. So seriously, serious shout out to that. I don't even know how y'all sitting here like just holding yourselves up. Like, that's just a lot of work. But they set up shop at the Spice Suite. The Spice Girls are made up of like 20 plus women, or about 20 women. And somebody take the baton from there. But anyway, but they're Spice Girls. And so I definitely want one of you all, or all three of you all, just to touch upon like what this collective is about, define a little bit more for the audience, how you all been like, and it's mainly women of color, right? Yeah, it's all women of color. Yep. All women of color entrepreneurs, And
that color would be black.
Black.
No,
yeah, let's be clear. Black women. Black. Yes. Let's not be afraid to say black. Black women entrepreneurs. Yeah. What Angel has created is dynamic. And, the stigma that Black women can't work together, throw that out the door, okay? Because we can.
Rabia's been a Spice Girl the longest, so maybe you could give.
Take it, Rabia.
Go ahead.
Don't look at me like she like me. I don't know.
She knows.
I think if you asked each of us, there would probably be a different definition of what being a Spice Girl is or entails, or what it means to each person. I think like all collectives, whether it's all women or anybody, it's, a lot of personalities, obviously. And of course it has its ups and downs, but I think more than anything, it's been like an invaluable spot for us. It's hard for me to really.
Well, talk about the structure. Like,
the actual business model is such that there's 21 women who pop up in the space. So we help Angel run the shop. So she's got a whole family. She has a lot of other endeavors that she works on. So
she's busy.
Yeah,
she's a busy girl.
Yeah, she is more than even the rest of us. So if I have a pop up at Spice Suite, I go to the shop, I open the shop for her, I run the shop for her, so I sell her spices, and then I also have a space to sell my products for free. She doesn't charge any of us. It's really like a symbiotic relationship. Like, we help her have her shop open while she's off doing other things, and then we have a place to sell our product to our customers too. And that's pretty much what the model is. Like, it's very nurturing on both ends. Like, and so, like, as she opens the shop more days, I'm a newer Spice Girl along with Kehmari. Like, the shop didn't used to be open on Tuesdays, but she allowed a few more Spice Girls in, so now I'm in the shop on first Tuesdays, but we allowed the shop to be open another day, coming in for our pop-ups at 5 to 8, so more people can come in for spices, they can come in for kombucha. We pop up with another Spice Girl, my dessert diva, so they can buy some sweet treats. They can just go in and shop from a lot of Black women. So she's in the shop a few days a week too, but we also are in there when she's not, and it allows for longer business hours without the labor, the cost of labor, without it having like the tax on her time. It's perfect. I don't know why more people don't do that. But.
Yeah, smart woman. I already know that Angel's just a smart woman. Haven't met her. I hope to, but smart woman. And you know what it reminds me of? And Lita, when we were in Detroit, we met a gentleman by the name of Sawande, who is an African beat drummer. I don't know his official title, but he was out D-Town Farms. And he talked a lot about how when our ancestors would farm on the land, it was a collective thing, and we all did it together, you know? So when he was drumming, he just gave us a history of agriculture. And when I think about that and making that comparison, like, you know, there is, yes, like the opportunity to like house your product there and be able to sell and meet other people in that area that you probably wouldn't have access to. But I'm sure there's a level of emotional support that you all get. There's a level of bonding, and it takes a village.
It does. And it's so much more than just the time at the shop, too. Like, she hosts us once a month for professional development. We get together. Like, we have outings, photo shoots. Like, y'all
look like y'all have fun.
We do have fun. It's a fun group, and she doesn't do anything without thinking about the Spice Girls. She says that. She tells us that all the time because we're not in the room. And she'll get offers, she'll get opportunities, and she just always tells people about the Spice Girls.
She's ride or die for y'all. I can see it, and I think that's awesome. That's awesome. How's your experience been?
It's been a pleasure. It's been a joyous ride. I DM'd Angel. That's how I met her. I actually was listening to a podcast, the Black Women's Entrepreneurial podcast. I forget the name of it. I'm so sad right now that I forgot. But she was featured, and I'm like, ooh, I know this accent. And she's from Uptown. She's an Uptown girl. I'm like, okay, let me hit her up.
She has it.
So I DM'd her, and she was open. And since then, she's remained transparent. It's just been a blessing, to be honest. My tribe has grown within my business, and as mutual like business owners, getting like advice and just having that communion is nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys gotta check if you're just listening, you're tuning in. Melissa here with the Edible Activist Podcast. Check out the Spice Suite. Support Black businesses. Support Black women. We can work together. It is important. Okay?
Yes. We're actually having a party December 10th.
Oh, fun.
Yes, with most, if not. Oh,
no. Yeah. I know. I travel too much. I know. I tried to do.
Travel just enough.
I do. I travel just enough.
No, but the Spice Girl Party, all the different Spice Girls.
It's called the Spice Girl Party? Or
Spice Girl Party on Facebook. You can find it. All the different Spice Girls collaborated on different boxes together. So people came up with new products, combining with other Spice Girls. We made joint boxes with our stuff. We mixed and matched things, and so there's a whole bunch of holiday boxes to pick from.
Gifts. You're looking for gifts, okay, guys? Check them out. You know, and I know off the subject of food just a bit, but Curated. They're there, right? Is it is it Curated? The consignment shop? No? Okay. Somebody else? Maybe I'm mistaken.
There are a few consignments, but
okay.
Curated.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm mistaken. So anyway, but no, that's amazing. I'm excited. So if you guys haven't checked out the Spice Suite, please go. They're awesome. And how often do you all pop up there?
I pop up once a month.
Okay.
I'm once a month too.
Okay. How often are you there, Rabia?
A lot.
Every day. Whenever you can.
So I'll be there today and tomorrow.
Okay.
And then I won't be there again until next year. As of next year, I'll be there second Saturdays.
Okay. Yeah. So if you guys are looking for sorbet or ice cream, whatever, look, come check out Rabia today. She'll be there, Ruby Scoops. Yeah. I am interested in learning, like, with each of your respective lanes, and you've already spoke to this, and you have Milan just a bit, but if you want to expound just a bit, like, what other narratives are you looking to change in your lane when it comes to, you know, the industry that you're in, your lane, Rabia, when it comes to the industry that you're in, and yours as well, Kehmari? Like, what narratives are you all looking to change that you're just like, you know what, like, I want to tell a different story behind my product? Because I'm sure it's more. It's being an entrepreneur and a creator is a hard job within itself, but we're always evolving and we're always looking to change some type of narrative and build something for the generation that's coming behind us. So, if y'all want to share?
Mine is probably most around Black people and health. Like I mentioned before, I don't think big companies feel like they have to or would even benefit from targeting Black people. with higher quality products, with greener products, with more natural things, with anything local. People don't think that there's a market there for Black people. So I target pretty exclusively Black people, Black women, just because I am a woman, but all Black people. And I feel like if Cultured is a success, other people will see, oh, there is a market there. I mean, of course, more than Black people buy Cultured. Plenty of people see it. They see what's going on, and they still support it. I think if you're authentic with your messaging and your mission, people get behind it, regardless of who those people are. But I want people to see that you can target Black people with healthy products, and you will flourish. Like, you show that there's a market there. Absolutely. So that we get more than just crap all the time.
Absolutely. By the way, y'all, Milan is wearing her edible activist tee. She's representing. Yay! I get so excited when I see those. Kehmari, Rabia?
I would like to expose, more so than change, the narrative that we created for ourselves. Like we've mentioned, Dr. Sabi and women like Queen Afua, and even our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers and our great-grandfathers who know how to grow and have been growing and have lived off of their food at least at some point of their lives. And so I would like to expose that agrarian ancestry that we have and that's in our blood, in our DNA, because we all have it. Even if we don't say we have a green thumb, it's in our blood. I think we all have a connection.
Put a seed in a soil and just be like Viola and just hope for the best, you know.
And that's what it's all about. You hope for the best, and you feel so rewarded, even if there's a sprig of something going on.
Something's happening.
You know?
That's awesome.
Yes, I just want to expose more of the tradition and agricultural legacy that we've started, and we started on this earth, actually.
Yep, you're right about that. Rabia's giggling at something.
I'm sorry.
I tell you, she's full of life. I wish y'all could see this. She's just over here doing her. I mean, can I laugh with you?
Every time I come here, I see someone else I know. So
she's like waving from the hey.
We used to work together at a restaurant in Silver Spring.
Oh, okay.
So I looked and I was like, wait, that's Richard. And so he's been kind of making eyes, I think, trying to figure out if it's me. And he was just like, oh my
That's
God.
you. That's you.
And we're just laughing at each other. I was like, I'll come talk to you. He's like, yeah, I'll be here. I'm like, perfect.
So what narratives are you looking to change?
So I think my biggest thing really is the misrepresentation and underrepresentation of Black people in food, particularly Black women in food. I come from a very white male dominated industry, and I didn't grow up seeing any Black women cooking outside of my house, not on TV, not on anything really. So it's important to me that when people see the packaging, they see a little brown girl, because when I was a little brown girl, I didn't see that. So it's important to me that little Black girls see me and know that if they want to make food, they can make food. Or little Black boys see me and they're like, oh, I love ice cream, or I love making cakes or desserts, and that's fine, and I can make a living out of this.
Right.
So I think one of my ultimate goals really is to have kind of like an Anthony Bourdain-esque show that's related to dessert, but like from, I think, more of a Black perspective, because no one really talks about what we eat outside of like the typical, you know, fattening things, or like, oh, like y'all make soul food, right? Like if I had $1 for every time someone was like, so you're Black, so you fried chicken, I'm like, I mean,
girl,
the first time that I had, or like actually properly fried chicken, was when I was at VCU, because African parents are like, what are you talking about? Frying chicken. So just put the chicken in the oil, and you're like, no.
I have literally been at a table full of white people talking about soul food. I actually have this whole revelation behind soul food anyway. They'll talk about fried chicken, barbecue chicken. They'll look at me. My family's from the South. They don't even fry chicken, okay? Like, my Mississippi family does not fry chicken. It was never a thing, all right? So I feel you 100% on that.
So it's just this...
my parents didn't even fry chicken when we were growing up.
Yeah. But even, like, being in industry... I mean, in restaurants, and being in the back, and, like, not being... When there's, like, you know, people there, and it's like, oh, who made the desserts? And they're like, oh, I'm a pastry chef. But, like, you could bring me out. You can show people what I look like.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
So that, or even like being in a kitchen and somebody finding a hair in their food, everybody looking at me, and then it comes back and the hair is blonde. Like, why are you looking at me? Because I got a frill. Which, by the way, is not out. So just the like, I mean, you don't see a lot of Black people in food, especially Black women in food. So it's important to me that people see that it's an option.
Well, just even on the topic of that and representation, you know, obviously we know ain't no Black people in doing kombucha. We know that for a fact. I mean, every kombucha brand I done brought has been a white brand, and I'm even become day by day even more intentional about who I buy from.
That's so I think a lot of the kombucha brands in this area are Asian.
Asian.
Well,
yeah, it's Asian roots.
Yeah. The more you know, the more you know.
It depends on who you ask, they'll say.
Okay. Well, the Cultured Kombucha by Milan. So when I think of kombucha, like Milan, okay. I mean, there's a couple other brands that I buy, but I know that I want to be intentional about buying my sister's product. You know, first of all, it's good, and I want to support her. And we're talking about sustainability, and that means so many different things, you know. But yeah, no, I feel you on that 100%. Where can we find your products? Where can I find Ksquared products?
Yes, you can find Ksquared's products at ksquaredflowers.com. December 9th will be the last Sunday that I'm hosting pickups at Union Market, D.C. at the Little Baby's ice cream stand to pick up orders that you would pre-order online. I'm also at the Spice Suite every third Friday of each month.
All right. She said this the last December. What was the last?
December 9th. Sunday, December 9th.
So that means you better get to that location or you're going to be short. Okay.
We'll find a location because her list is longer than mine. So
Cultured
one place. Y'all may as well save me.
And all I saw was this eye looking at Milan.
I was like, don't go before me.
Everyone get your notepads ready, please.
This is recorded. I ain't got to write nothing down.
Record it back. Rewind.
Cultured Kombucha is at Glenn's Garden Market in DC,
which is
the first stockist.
Big deal.
Yeah, it's a great market. I mean, they're really big about local products and only buying within like the Chesapeake watershed. And they approached me, so I hadn't actually even heard of them before they approached me, and I was like, oh, you got a nice little mission here. So they're the first stockist, and then I pop up at the Spice Suite first Tuesdays of every month. And so we have reusable bottles that we try to get people to bring back to cut down on that supply as well. So we do the refills of the bottles at the Spice Suite on first Tuesdays, and we have like regular bottles too, and our regular bottles at Glenn's also.
Can you shout out a couple of your flavors, your choice? I don't know what you call it, but 'cause they're so fun.
There's 2 per season, so we're in fall right now. So PYT is the rosemary lime. It's obviously called that because of the Michael Jackson song, and rosemary has like anti-aging properties, great antioxidants. Same with the citrus and the lime. And then we have I Used to Love Her, Common Song, and it's a honey cinnamon apple, which just reminds me of like love and fall. So they're both delicious. The honey cinnamon apple one obviously isn't vegan, but the rosemary lime one is.
Oh my gosh, it sounds so good. All right, Rabia, we're ready. We're
got our pen and paper.
Just put my phone recorder on.
It is winter, so we don't really do too many events because it's cold, and y'all not gonna tell me it's cold. I know, so we're just gonna save ourselves the time. But this week, I'm at the Spice Suite tonight and tomorrow night from 5 to 8. Next week, December 8th, I'm somewhere. My sister's having an event called the Inner Creative. If anyone's interested in signing up and doing some fun, artistic art release things, it'll be at the IO Spaces in Silver Spring, and I'll have a cider and cookie bar.
Yum.
On December 9th, we're doing Yelp's Holiday Market.
Oh, we're there too.
Ooh.
Cultured is there too.
Yeah, that's from 10 to 1.
Okay.
And we'll be doing some more of like our holiday stuff, which people don't really know about. So vegan brittle, vegan sauces, pints, but the pints will be pre-order.
Okay.
And so that kind of stuff. We're in restaurants and groceries as well. So restaurants, you can find our cookies at all the Luke's Lobsters in the area.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
And they use them for the ice cream sandwiches. Mandu Korean on K Street. Dio Wine Bar on 8th Street, Union Oyster Bar and Lounge in the Union Market area, Toli Moly at Union Market. They also carry pints, and their pints are specifically either Asian or African-inspired flavors because I can have fun there. Unlike the other stores, I'm kind of locked in. And then grocery stores, we are in Glenn's Garden Market, Union Kitchen Grocery, I think all of their locations. We are in Mom's College Park, Gaithersburg, White Marsh, Alexandria, and Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Damn,
So I told
drops
you I was
mic.
going before Rabia.
And
That's why.
surprisingly, as an African, it's not enough. I need more, guys. So, any restaurants or corporate events or any of those things, you guys looking for some ice cream, I'm your gal.
I am impressed.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That is awesome. It just makes me feel great inside. I'm like, no joke. Like, I like to see us doing the damn thing. Because we can build businesses, we can create. We are creators.
Yeah.
Like, innately, we are creators. We've always been creators and builders, you know. Milan's a freaking architect, guys, all right? Like, she really is a builder and a creator. So that is awesome. Okay, so Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything else at The Cultured
Yep, at
Kombucha.
The Cultured Kombucha.
The Cultured Kombucha. Ruby Scoops.
At Ruby Scoops, IC, like ice cream.
Okay.
At Ksquared Flowers.
Yay.
And the Spice Girls are at
Yes.
Spice Girlin'.
Spice Girl, and yes, please follow them. And the Spice Suite. Follow the Spice Suite. So
And Spice Girlin', every week they post a schedule of who's there when.
Okay.
So it's a good way to keep up with what we're all doing and to support really all of our Black women businesses.
absolutely. Black women rock. We rock. I wish I had more time. I say this in my every show I do, but I really do. We got to bring y'all back. Like, can we do like part 2 in 2019? Would y'all be down for coming
Absolutely.
back? Awesome.
Can it be
awesome.
hotter outside?
It can be hot because, girl, it's like 30 degrees and windy. My
The
poor
wind
legs.
smacked me.
Yes,
Oh, gosh.
we'll bring kombucha floats and flowers.
Yes, so much fun. All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap up, but really quickly, you know, I always end the show with a really quick rapid fire. But I'm gonna toss a question per person because there's like 50 of us in here. 50, yes, 50. So I'm gonna toss this out. Maybe I'll start with Kehmari on this one. Kehmari, what is your favorite leafy green?
My favorite leafy green are dandelions.
Ooh, somebody else said that. I can't remember who it was, but
Always. It makes your skin just shine.
oh gosh,
Yeah.
I need some. Okay.
It's nasty. They're nasty.
They
Yeah,
are. They
they
are. They're
taste
bitter.
like dirt.
They're bitter, right?
Yeah, I
bitter.
eat them with dates and with like olive oil, different balsamics from the Spice Suite.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they're amazing.
I learned. Okay,
Great
so
for
with
your
dates.
liver.
Okay, I gotta check that out. Let's see, Milan,
Faces?
an edible activist you look up to.
I was thinking that, I think I have to say Angel. Like, I've never known
out to
anybody
Angel.
in the space to do what she's done for people in the area. And her spices are amazing. A Black woman traveling the world, hand blending all these spices. It's just, and the way she puts others on is just really
That's
awesome.
the perfect.
and she's a real
spot
estate
on.
investor in DC. That's a big deal.
That is a big deal. She has a stake in DC, y'all. Like
Yes.
doing. Shout out, Angel.
Goals.
You are loved. You're here in spirit with us too. This would be a funny one. Rabia, sweet, spicy, sour, salty.
Sour.
Surprise! You do like sour. She
I
does.
love sour stuff.
Really? Do you make anything like within your product line? Is anything sour or just like
I just recently
food-wise?
did a mango tamarind swirl for Holy Moly, so it's like almost my play on rainbow sherbet.
Okay.
So of course it's the tamarind part super sour. For my birthday, I made a lemon honey ginger sorbet because we did like prosecco floats with it.
Lita
I love
loves
sour
ginger.
stuff. So I do stuff like this all the time, but then people are like, it needs more sugar, and I'm like, you don't need sugar. That's the problem. Just eat the fruit.
Yep, that is your sugar.
So most of my sorbets are more acidic than the sorbets people are used to, which is also on purpose because I find a lot of ice creams I eat like 3 spoons and I'm like, I don't want this sweet. My throat hurts. I'm good. I'm obsessed with lemonade.
Are you really?
Yes, it's my favorite.
Lemons. When life throws you
So
lemons.
I love sour. I do love sweet, but like it takes me like 2 weeks to finish a pack of Starburst now that I'm 30. It's like everything hurts. No one told you that was going to happen. No one told me.
Well, everything sticks, and I'm pushing 40, so there's a lot of stuff I shouldn't be eating. That's a whole nother conversation.
And as I've gotten older, I do like sweet, but I really like sour. And I think sour and salt or sweet and sour are like really awesome. I'm not a huge spicy person.
Ooh, really? Spice.
Milan, what is your favorite
Sorry,
fruit?
kind of African are you?
Favorite fruit.
I love blackberries.
I like, and they're on sale at Mom's too. If anybody's,
It's not blackberry season. Don't do it to yourself.
It's not.
it'll
not- just be
I
purple
don't know
water.
about black. Oh shoot, I don't know much about blackberries, so I learn. Okay, so it's not black. Don't get your blackberries now, guys. Okay, it's not blackberry season. But I do like
They're also
blackberries,
not local
too.
here, but I love them.
Kehmari, last question. What is one way that someone can channel their inner edible activism?
Go to the garden.
Yes.
Go find your local community garden and have at it. Have some fun.
Yes.
She's so right, man. You can find so much peace in the garden.
If I may piggyback, check out your local farmers markets and like see what the farmers have, what the bakers have, because a lot of that stuff will include kind of what's seasonal now, and may even turn you on to some stuff you didn't really knew existed.
That is true.
Or could be used a certain way.
Explore. Ladies, this has been so much fun. It is always an honor when people, accept my invitation and come on the show. And so I learn so much each and every time that I'm here in the studio. So thank you for the work that you do. Keep rocking on. Support these women, okay? Support our Black sisters. Support our Black entrepreneurs, our women entrepreneurs. Black Women Rock. Spice Girls. Y'all are doing it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
So thanks everyone for tuning in. We're here live on Full Service Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m. You can access each episode after it airs at fullserviceradio.org. Be sure to follow me at Food Talks DC on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Are you an edible activist? If so, please come join me on the show. I would love to feature you. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram, or you can email me at melissa@goodsoulevents.com. Peace, love, and sour everything.
Yes. That's what had me giggling.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this program on Full Service Radio, broadcasting and recording from the Line Hotel in Adams Morgan, Washington, D.C. Full Service Radio programming can be accessed live and archived on fullserviceradio.org. Our talk programming is available on most podcast apps like iTunes and Stitcher, and our DJ sets are available on mixcloud.com/fullserviceradio. Full Service Radio features over 30 weekly shows and over 50 local hosts covering every topic imaginable. If you want to be a guest or get involved, email us at info@fullserviceradio.org. Follow us on Twitter at FullServiceRDO, on Instagram and Facebook at Full Service Radio. Thanks for listening.